might do something else as well. So go ahead and we'll get started here. Might get crazy. Let's go ahead and set everything up. I've got a real messy desk today. Let's check the view. The fishing this week, I think that I'm gonna do some bass fishing. But we have plenty of bass bugs. That's pretty good. All right, hackle stem. Should we articulate it or not articulate it? That's a good question. Yeah, maybe we try to articulate it. Articulated. That's a pretty big hook, but for what I was thinking, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Let's get started. I have a lot of good hackle stems left over from yesterday's time, so I wanted to use them up. Hence the hackle stem streamer. I said I was going to do a jig, but I'm not feeling a jig. Not feeling the jig at the moment. Oh, here's another. Yeah, so here's an example of the hackle stem we're going to use. Just nice and fluffy. Good material, but oft overlooked. And then we can even use the stem part. We can use that for a body, as a body, kind of like a quill. So let's get started. But the question is, do we articulate this or not? And if we do articulate it, how much are we going to articulate it? That's the question today. I need some bigger articulated fly, so maybe we do articulate it. Maybe we do. And if we're going to, we should have started. Oh, I guess that can be the back hook. Then we need a front hook. Bigger front hook or same size front hook? Or two smaller. I think this is slightly smaller. I don't want this to be honking huge fly. I think this is front, this is back. So let's change up the hook. I'm thinking trout. Make the hooks too big, you might be fatal. So let's switch up the smaller one. Smaller back, and then we'll do a mono connection. Do mono connection with a bead. I found a nice bead. Hopefully I can still find that little bead. Okay. So with the hackle stem, where you cut leaves a little taper, but it's pronged. And so that will be our tail section. And then I'm gonna tie it in kind of horizontal rather than vertical. If you wanted to make it material heavy, you could do vertical. But I don't want to be want it to be too material heavy, so I'm going to just do horizontal. It makes for a nice tail. And then we'll brush a body. I'm gonna try to get fancy with the brush, and I'm gonna incorporate some ripple fiber into our brush. So I'll show you how I do that. This is a split piece of foam. I'm opening it up, and then I'm gonna cut out some ripple fiber. Let's add a few strands to the tail before it gets too late here. Just kind of messy tie that in and swoop it back. That should be good. Get some coverage on the shank. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, so ripple fiber. And then I'm gonna place it on the foam. So it's just sitting on the foam. And then I'm gonna press my feather over the ripple fiber. So it's all seated, like so. Yeah, and then I'm going to clip it. So hopefully this is a good clip. And then I'll remove it. And then I'm going to cut it off the stem. And then we'll use this for our brush. For the brush, I'm going to use mono. This is just 1X. 1X is a little bit thick. 3X is fine. But this is actually just tippet material. Cheap tippet material. So I don't mind tying with it. I've had this forever as well. Don't tie with your expensive tippet material. And I'll tie in the brush. And I'll do a couple wraps around the base of the brush. Lock it in. Ooh, what the heck. And then I will trim it. Get a little wax. Tap the brush with the wax. Before we go any further, I need the spinning tool. This is my spinning tool. And I'll slip it on the mono, get the material in between the mono, let it go, but not great, not so long. We might have to add a wing. We could do it like a feather wing. Yeah, little grizzly hackle feather wing on there. That might look nice. My brush is way too long as well. But I'm just spinning this up until the mono furls on itself. It's almost there. There it is, a couple more spins. And then I'll wrap it. The rotary function on the vise is useful. I have too much mono. I made the brush too long, so I worked it forward, now I'm working it back. And you spin it, the more thread buildup you get. We don't want that. Nice and slow. Nice and slow, preen everything. Oh, we got some hello again. I am Levi Rausch, Zoe Binns, and Relax Meditation. Move the camera to the right. My right? If I move it to my right. Okay. I don't know if that matters. Let me check the angle there. I gotta finish wrapping the material. And finish. One more wrap. Holding the material, holding the mono loop up, and then I'll lock it up, lock it in. And we'll clip it off. Secure it down. Now the question is, do we add a wing? I'm kind of thinking yes. Kind of thinking yes, we do. And pick out that brush a bit. Yeah, let's add a wing. I was thinking grizzly hackle. I've got some darker hackles here. It's kind of old. This is like half an old neck, but these might be too short. Those work. They don't have to be super long. So we'll just tie two of them in for the wing. Two of these little grizz. Little wing. If we lose the wing, it won't, I don't think it'll impact the performance of our fly. And trim everything, lock everything. We'll whip finish. And one more. Benjamin said hi. Hi, Benjamin. Okay. Let's get some mono for our articulation. Thinking 3 or 4 strands into a bead, and I'll explain why. The purpose is so it doesn't roll. I don't want it to roll a lot. Let's get our bead. Here's a silver silver bead. And it's stuck on a piece of any beads in there. Beads in here. Beads in here. Oh, there's a bead. Oh, I found a bead. Okay, let's thread our bead in. And we'll slip it through. Then thread our bead through, back through the bead. All right. 2 beads would be better, but I don't want to go through the bead hunt again. Bead hunting. Just let it go. Okay. Let's get our other hook in. This hook is a little bit bigger. And I'm going to weigh this one down a bit. And first, let's get the articulation in. I want it as tight as possible. It's a little bit off. God, I don't know why, like 2 hooks on this seems a bit excessive, but I'll just go with it. Trim that out. And then we will add a little lead-free round wire. Lead-free round wire. Come on, lead-free round wire. You were just here. Lead-free round wire with a bunch of extra stuff on it. Let's take some out. Let's move that thread back. And we will give this a little wrap. I don't care how neat this wrap is. Just a little bit of weight. I'm gonna hit it with a drop of glue just to lock that mono in. Just a little bit. Spread it around. And then our second hackle butt has some feather on it. I don't want that. Take that out. And we're just going to repeat the step that we did with the first fly. How I'm measuring out the hackle butt is I want it to pinch to make a clump. If I do it too far back, then these front fibers are going to move freely. I want them tied in a bunch. So I'm getting just enough where I can tie them all down together in a bunch to make a little, like a V shape, but I'm then tying it in flat on top. Yes. Trim that out. Hopefully there's enough material here to make a brush. Maybe I have another stem line around here. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna use this for something else, but I'm gonna go with this fuller stem. Get a little pink ripple on there. Lay it over the top of my phone like that. Press in my feather like that. And then clip it. And take it out. Trim it up. Let's get another bit of mono. I got to think about the head as well, what kind of head I want for this. We'll do an appropriate size loop this time. The last loop was way too big. Tie in the mono. A couple wraps around the base. Lock that in. Dab it with the wax. Stick in the material. Close it around the loop. Hit the tool, spin it up. Spin, spin, spin. What kind of head? Choices: deer hair head, Alaskan Outdoors. Jen, hello Jen, hello Alaskan Outdoors. Spring is here. I'm sure everybody is excited. All right, let's advance the thread. And then we will wrap Rappy dappy. Rappy dappy dappy. I'm leaving a gap between the wing and the wrap because there's no need to put material there. There's so much material already on this fly. Everything doesn't have to be covered. One more wrap. And then we'll trim it off. Lock it in. Pick. I'm liking those little ripple fibers. The ripple fibers are adding some character. Let's get little hackles for our wing. Maybe we'll do 3 of these little hackles. One on top and one on the side. 2 on the side rather. And now we still need to figure out a head for this fly. Without a kind of without shape to the head, the swim is not going to be very good. So we got to find a head shape here. I'd say overall length is like 2.5, 3 inches. So it's not a massive fly. There's a lot of material for a 3-incher. But it's got character. Kind of cool looking. What kind of head? Ooh, I have an idea. Some fox. This is fox fur. Get a little bit of fox going here because it matches. And then we'll blend the fox with some ice dub. That'll be a nice head. And then we'll just do 1 clump on top, 1 clump on the bottom. So we have our fox. I'm going to pull the guard hairs out. These longer hairs are called guard hairs. We'll pull those out. A few are still in there, but that's okay. And then we will get some ice dub. Maybe olive. This is a olive brown ice dub. This is a good one. And we'll blend it in with our fox. And we'll split it 1 clump. I'm going to tie in the clump. Normally you do like 50-50, but I want the clump to be a little bit incorporated as a wing. So I'm going to tie it the bottom 25%. Or even less, like 10%. And so majority is poking out front. It will thin that out. It's not all gonna go on. But I want that wing. And the bottom clump is gonna be a little bit lighter than the top. But still tied in, majority sticking out front. And then I'm going to advance the thread and leave it just like that. We're going to tie it off here. Snip it, pick it out. The more you pick, the better it is. Remove that excess. Make sure that distribution's even. Full coverage, top and bottom. Don't worry about the sides too much. Eyeballs, yellow eyes, I think would be good here. Oversized, because I want the eyes to help maintain the shape of the head. Eyes on the left hand. Brush your head back. Don't pull it super taut, because then angle it to the side. We want it to have volume. We don't want it slicked back completely. We want it back, but not slicked back. And then we will, there's some eye stub that's unruly. We will gently hold the back, try to give it some shape. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. My finger's not blocking. I'm gonna just drop some glue where I want the eye to be placed. It's soaking into the head. It's gonna give the head shape. And then let's set. We'll do the other side. Gently find your shape. A drop or two. Place the eye. Position the eye. Let it set. Okay, that's good. That looks good. Don't stab yourself. We want the bottom to have some shape, but so how we'll get the bottom shape is we'll use a toothpick, and then we'll put glue on the toothpick. And then I'm gonna just roll it in, starting at the thread. Just roll it in there. The glue in the fox fur, if the glue gets saturated into the fox, it's gonna make like a rock, and you don't want that. You still want the material to move. So just let it, just roll it in. Roll it on in. And same thing for the top. bit of glue on the pick. Just roll it up. Roll it up. Yeah. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Yeah, solid, solid. The one thing I don't like about this is the fact that there's two hooks. I don't think two hooks are necessary. I could have put more beads in to create space, but the length, you add a bead and you're getting like 2 centimeters of length. It doesn't really matter. What I should have done is I should have just tied one hook and then a shank. Much more practical. But the second hook is gonna cause more harm than good when you're fishing. It's gonna get stuck into the fish, like the side of the fish. A 3-inch streamer is gonna get eaten. If it's like a 6-inch streamer, then the rear hook is necessary. But a 3-inch streamer, if they're not getting it, then they're not getting it. So 2 hooks on a 3-incher is kind of stupid in my opinion. There she blows. Yeah, not bad. Except for the hook dilemma. The next thing we wanted to do was some prince nymphs. Some prince nymphs. When I'm fishing a smaller, so I like 12 and up for my princes. If I'm fishing a smaller nymph, I'm going a different pattern, pheasant tail, hare's ear, not a prince. I think the prince design is more suitable for a bigger 12, 10 size pattern. So that's what we'll tie today, a little bit bigger. We can do variations. There's lots of variations of prince nymph. We'll put a 3.8 on there. It's gonna be a lot of bead on this guy. Ooh, that sound. Thread choice matters here. We'll go with this 70 brown, UTC 70 brown. Let's get it threaded. Okay. Gotta do a little bump of thread to lock that bead in. And then we'll start working it down the shrink here. There's not a lot of hook. So a good print, a good looking print, it's all about the taper. You're tying in the peacock, but it should go from thin to fat on the tail. I'm thinking for the biots, I'm gonna do different colors. So not the standard like a brown, white. I think I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna do the lighter color on the tail and then maybe a wilder color for the wing case. And we'll see how it turns out. So we have 2 biots. I don't like to time it at the same time, and then I like to separate them. Some Prince nymphs, they like to tie the biot flat in like an X, but I'm gonna do them on the sides. And then I'm gonna keep them relatively short, not too long. So there's one. And we'll set it to the side. There's 2. If you can, oh, that one's a little bit uneven. And now they're good. If you can get the last wrap tight, it'll flare the biots out. So I'm gonna tighten down a little bit to get them flared. Not much of a flare, but the best we got. And then we'll trim them up. Triminy. Next thing we tie in is our peacock, and then a rib. I think you're going to want a rib. The peacock, if you're worried about durability, you'll want a rib. For our peacock, we'll do 2 strands is plenty, but we'll do 3. We'll do 3. And then we'll add our rib color, rib color, rib color. We'll match the tail, we'll do a chartreuse rib. This wire's all jacked up. Tie in the rib. Okay. Let's wrap the peacock behind the rib. I don't know if we're gonna get a good taper here. Maybe 1, 2, 3 over, and it's not great, but normally you don't want to wrap the peacock over itself like that. You can build up the body with the thread. I'm using a super thin thread, so it wouldn't have worked very well. Okay, so we wrap the peacock clockwise. We're going to wrap the rib counterclockwise. And the rib is thinning out a little bit. That stubby tail is a little regretting that stubby tail. Okay. Decisions. Next thing that goes in is the wing case. And We have white, we have green, we have pink. What does pink look like? Pink doesn't look good. We have yellow. What does yellow look like? Not bad. We have blue, which might be the winner. This is quite light. That doesn't look good. We have purple, which is trendy. Ooh, the purple looks good. Let's get 2 perps. Purple looks good. I'm gonna do same length as the body, kind of oversize the wing. Oh, this is a jig hook, so they gotta go on the other side. Excuse me. It's sitting on the side now, which actually looks not bad, but we'll still go up top. Try to go up top with it if we can get it in there. Yeah, kind of up top to the side. Let's get the other one in there. Tension time in. Not sitting great. Could be worse though. There we go. That's sitting better. Okay, no, you don't want to build up too many thread wraps. Control your thread wraps. I had a really nice partridge feather I liked, but perhaps we use, oh, there's the partridge feather. Might be wasted on a pattern like this because these fibers are quite long. The thinness is good. The other thing I could use is like oh, these are good. So here's some darker soft hackles on this neck. Has some darker soft hackles that are about the right size. Let's try these guys. You could wrap it, which is great. So you do tip first and wrap. But I don't know. Or you could clump it and then do wings on each side. But God, this is a tough decision here. Let's do one. We'll try to do one wrap. What would actually be best if it's split, if it's stripped, one side is stripped and then wrapped. I think that's going to be the best result. So we stripped one side. We'll tie it in this way. I don't know if it matters. Tip first. Knock off that tip before it's too late. And then wrap our caul. It's tempted to do more, but one is plenty. And then we'll take out the feather. This is a soft hackle prince nymph, turning out to be. The hackle's a little bit long. The tail's a little bit short. But you gotta have character in your flies. I promise you that'll catch a trout. No problem, bro. Okay. Let's have that tail. Should have done purple. That's what it. That tail's all messed up. Purple would have been best. Purple. What was I thinking? Oversizing the hackle isn't a problem. If it looks too messy, you can knock off the top and the bottom and just keep it on the sides. But I like the nymphs with the longer hackle. Like a CDC pheasant tail, you want those CDC legs long. In the water, there's more movement, and then they kind of cling to the body as well, so that it's not all visible. So having those longer legs isn't a problem on nymphs. Anyway, not the prettiest tie. Okay, I think we got time for one more. And the one more will be some wire body, something wire body. Yeah, we could do something wire body. Let's prep this. So here's a turkey tail. And then I'm going to, oh, there's already a little varnish on this turkey tail. That's perfect. We'll use that little varnished section of turkey tail as a wing case. This is not going to be a prince nymph, I don't think. Maybe we could call it a prince nymph. We'll do 2.8, slightly smaller bead. Go ahead and lock it in. Get ready for the noise. We can keep the thread, and then we will, and then I think we can do biot for the body, or I'm sorry, biot for the tail. We'll do wire body. We learned that purple is the way to go, so let's do purple here. Oh, that biot split. We need another one. Put one on this side. And we'll do one on the other side. the bead, get it all the way down the tail here. That's good. Knock those off. Knock those off. Let's do a two-tone body, two-tone wire body, black and red. We have that chartreuse wire left over. Where'd that go? Black and copper would also be good. Yeah, maybe black and copper. So just cutting out a section of black. Adding a section of copper. Tie them in together. And then, just almost cut my thread on the hook point. We'll wrap them together. We'll use the rotary function of the vise because we need them to stay together nice and tight. I'm losing it a little. Losing it a little bit. That's not bad. Okay. My thread is way the heck out of position. Lock down the wire. Trim the wire. Cover those wire ends so they don't cause problems. Peacock for the thorax. Peacock for the thorax. But we have to time the wing case first. We had the pre-lacquered section of turkey. We use that. We don't need that much, just a little bit. That's enough. I'm gonna knock off the tips. Then I'm gonna tie it in. Tip first, where we knocked it off. A little bit of angle there. And then we're going to take it down to about there. That's good. And then we'll do our peacock. Nice and thick. And then we will do let's do 2 purple buyouts for the legs coming out the side, not on top. So this will be a variation of a prince. We'll do 2 beat buyouts for the legs, but coming out of the side, top side. But we'll fold over the wing case, so it looks like it'll be poking out of the wing case. There we go. That one's a little short, or this one's a little long. Yeah, maybe that's shorten that one up. Let's trim those out carefully. Let's get our wing case folded over. We don't want too much thread buildup on the head. The copper wire on the abdomen is standing out really nicely. You should have cut that closer, but maybe I can tuck it down with thread, but we don't want too much buildup. It'll have to do. Let's whip finish. And we will add a little dollop of resin on the wing case to get a little shine. Okay. It's just clear nail polish. UVs for the birds, man. I'm so sick of tying with UV. You tie a lot with UV, you just become dependent on it. So, and everything gets UV'd. I'm thinning this out till it gets to 1 drop that doesn't fall off the tip of my toothpick, and then I'm gonna just place that right on the wing case and let it just soak in a little bit. And if I do it right, it'll just stay right in place and then harden as a nice little glossy bit on the back of that fly. We are done. A little Prince Nymph variation, Copper John style, mayfly, nymph. What we got right are the proportions, abdomen, thorax. The wing and leg length are decent. But I don't think fish can see that. And then the aesthetic, the turkey wing case with the drop of resin looks nice. Adding like a strip of mylar or flash on that wing case is tempting, but it'd just be too much. It's too much. So that's enough. That'll do. The other fly we tied was not so pretty, kind of soft hackler. Looking fly, messed up on the tail, but we'll still fish it, no problem. And then the first fly we did was this articulated streamer using hackle butt, two hackle butts. The tail is the feather, actual stem of the feather, and then we made a brush from the remaining feather, incorporated some ripple fiber, added a little feather wing, and then we have a fox fur head with eye stub in it, and we made a nice little streamer. So that's it. Ooh. Time to go to the gym. Thanks for watching. we'll get our I'm gonna flip this and stop.